Listen, Bendemption is happening, and here's some interviews that prove it.
Don't get too proud of this technological terror you've constructed.
Kylo Ren is redeeming himself and becoming Ben Solo again in episode 9, much like Vader redeemed himself and became Anakin. Now, I want to make this very clear that just because you redeem yourself doesn't mean you still aren't a piece of shit and need to make up for all the terrible things you did, or quite possibly never can do so. Kylo Ren and Vader both did some really fuck shit, and just because they're redeemed doesn't mean they're forgiven. Those are two very different things. That being said, I think Ben Solo being redeemed and reading about him after episode 9 in any canon that Lucasfilm puts out is what I'm most excited for. I'm excited for episode 9, but I'm more so looking forward to what they put out about Ben Solo and his, I guess, path to making up for what he did. Now, why is Kylo Ren definitely being redeemed in episode 9? Besides, it's the most cliched thing ever, so of course it's gonna happen in Lucasfilm under Disney. There's actually a lot of recent interview proof, and it really seems like they're pushing this idea. So I'm gonna start with the weakest interviews first, and then end on the strongest, just because, I don't know, I guess that's how I want to do it. First, there have been a few directors that have connections to the sequel trilogy saying that yes, Kylo did some villainous things, but he's actually a hero and he's done quite a few heroic things. Now, generally, you don't call the person that becomes Space Hitler and stays Space Hitler until he dies or remains that way at episode 9 a hero. Next, Kathleen Kennedy, president of Lucasfilm, you probably know that, talked about how Ben Solo became damaged and he was created to be who he currently is, so it wasn't necessarily his fault. And this is her direct quote. "There's a real complexity to Kylo Ren, and you get a sense there's real psychological damage in what he's gone through." And this sort of builds towards what we've read in other canon, that Leia and Han were afraid of Ben and he could sense it, and because he was so powerful and he was so gifted in the Force that he felt like they dumped them off with Uncle Luke because they didn't want him. And there's a bunch of other stuff going on, but I won't get into that in this video. Now, the biggest interview proof that Ben Solo is coming back is from Daisy Ridley herself, and she's practically just screaming it. So first, I want to share the quote with her saying that Rey isn't giving up on Kylo. So she said, "Rey still has hope to change Kylo Ren, and that's what's wonderful about Star Wars. It trusts the individual and their power to change. Rey doesn't give up Kylo Ren. She firmly believes that he can be converted. This is a beautiful message, to see the good in people, even when they do bad things." Now that in itself screams, okay, she still believes in Kylo Ren and he does redeem himself, but I want to read one more quote by her that really just hammers that home. "I always thought that Star Wars films were full of hope. That someone has so much faith in a person even when he has done the worst things in the world is a very beautiful thing, and in this last film, there are moments full of that hope." Bendemption. It's happening. Accept it. Embrace it. Love it.
Thanks so much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe for more Star Wars videos.